Back in November of last year, I got the Osmo Pocket 3 from DJI. Now, they didn't send it to me. I'm not big enough for that. I bought it from Amazon. I was about to head off on an international trip for a month, and I decided the Pocket 3 would probably be a good thing to bring along with me. I took a ton of footage while I was over in Europe. I was in the UK, I was in London, I was in the South Coast, I was up in the English Lake District, up in the Northwest. I took a lot of footage in different environments and different conditions. I'll try and put as much of that as I can in this, just so you can get some feeling for the video quality, the ease of use, also the audio quality too, because that to me was one of the game changers. The Osmo Pocket 3 is a small camera on a gimbal in a pocketable form factor. It's the third generation product in this range. That's why it's called Pocket 3. I had a Pocket 2, but I sold it as soon as the Pocket 3 was announced, so I can't actually do a comparison here. The camera is on a gimbal, a mechanical gimbal. It's a 1-inch sensor. This sets it apart from some of the previous versions and continues the trend of larger sensors being put into some of the smaller consumer video cameras. It has a rotating 2-inch screen that you can also set to turn on the camera and the gimbal when you flip the screen open. It's quite a cool movement just to flip it open. The Pocket 3 will record in 4K at any standard frame rate up to 120 frames a second. So there's plenty of opportunities for slow-mo as well as regular footage without losing resolution. It can record in DJI's log format, which is called D-Log, HDR video as well. And now with the latest firmware upgrade, it can do D-Log and HDR in slow-mo as well as regular video footage. It has very fast autofocusing with a face detect mode that will prioritize faces when it's focusing on whatever you're looking at. The latest version of DJI's active track is on here too. It's now up to version 6. The tracking is good. I mean, if I move this, you'll see that it's following me. This is just on standard gimbal speed. Let me just change hands here. So the tracking is not bad at all. It's not losing me. This is way better than the Pocket 2 and actually works really well, which the Pocket 2 didn't. It can track a selectable object, a person, or it can just track you whenever you turn the camera around onto selfie mode. Now the Creator combo that I got comes with a whole bunch of stuff, including an extended grip that has a tripod mount in its base, an even longer extended grip that also has a battery pack in it and a tripod socket in the base, a small tripod that is way better than the weird thing that came with the Pocket 2, a wireless mic 2 that connects directly with the Pocket 3, a lanyard, wide-angle lens, and a USB-C charging cable, all in a really nice handy-dandy case that fits everything perfectly. Now, other than, say, some ND or polarizing filters, that's pretty much all you need to get going. It doesn't include any ND filters, even in the combo kit, or the black mist filter, or any polarizing filters either. Controls on the Pocket 3 are nice and simple. There is a touch screen, a record button, and also a joystick that's also a pressable button too. So the way you turn on the Pocket 3 is super intuitive. You just bring the camera up, you flip the screen round, and once the camera is held up, it's already powered on. All you now have to do is press record. Now you can set it like I have here to always be pointing forwards, but you can also set it up to be in selfie mode when you first turn it on. Either way, you can flip it around from one to the other just by hitting that joypad 3 times and it will quickly rotate. The screen is super bright. It's at 700 nits. Apparently. I've never found it difficult to see clearly in any light, even direct sunlight. It's a very intuitive touchscreen with a swipe from the edge approach that's actually very familiar to other similar products. You swipe down for settings, you swipe up for shutter and frame rate, you swipe left for exposure, audio and other recording settings, or you swipe right for playback. Or you just touch the icons on the screen to access those functions too. It feels very high quality. The standard design and the components from DJI is really, really good. I've been recording with this for quite a while today so far. I do have the battery grip with me, but I'm not using it right now. Actually, I hope the battery holds out because I haven't got a USB-C cable. I'd have to buy one. I've been walking around every day. I've had this camera in my pocket or out, and I've been recording quite a bit of footage, and I haven't felt the need to attach the battery pack at all. The Pocket 3 itself is just under 3 hours. I think it's 166 minutes runtime. If you then plug the handle in, which has got a charge battery in it, and the handle will immediately start charging. This handle gives you something like another 2/3 of maximum battery capacity. I believe it's just over 60%. So, you're going to be well over 3 hours of total runtime. In terms of battery life, it's fantastic, but more incredibly is how quickly it charges. It charged from 46% back to 100% in like 15 minutes. Maybe I should time it, but I haven't done. But it just felt like no time at all to actually recharge this. The combination of that large sensor, that 1-inch sensor, and a mechanical gimbal make this a low light stable monster. Software driven stabilization has come a long way in recent years and is actually getting very good. But as soon as the light starts to fade, you lose that ability to hold the image stable and maintain high image quality. Mechanical gimbal, like the one in the Pocket 3, doesn't need that. Doesn't need to see anything to hold the camera stable. So it can continue to stay stable even when the light is failing. The audio that comes from the built-in microphones is really, really good. It records in stereo from the multiple mics around the Pocket 3, and you can also select a wind noise reduction too. Now, if you want to go super compact, get rid of the extended handle, get rid of the tripod, which actually is a very good way to hold this, and don't bother with the external mic. But then you've got to hold it very carefully between your fingers and your thumb to, firstly, make sure you don't drop it. That's what the lanyard is for. And secondly, don't cover the microphones. Because nothing kills audio like your thumb over a microphone, does it? You just have to be careful you don't hold those mics. There's a larger one on the front or the side with the screen that you'd look at. Very easy to put your thumb over that. But the real beauty here is the DJI Wireless Mic 2 that comes with the kit. In this case, I put the wind filter on it. This comes with a Creator Combo kit. It connects directly to the Pocket 3. There's no extra attachment needed like there was on Pocket 2. And once it's connected, it's fully integrated. I can see the recording level graphically on the screen. I can select wind reduction on and off. I can internally record a 32-bit float audio track direct to memory on the mic. And I can start and stop recording video on the Pocket 3 just by pressing a button on the mic as well. Now, in addition to video, there are some other modes as well. There is the slow motion I talked about before at 120 frames a second. There is time lapse, actually called motion lapse. There's spin shot and panorama photos. Slow motion is really good. 120 frames a second in 4K. That's super slow and super smooth. Motion lapse is also a great feature. It's a shame there isn't a start timer though that would allow me to leave the Pocket 3 on a balcony overnight, say, to record the sunrise like a GoPro. But it's still very cool and very easy to use. Spin shots, well, I haven't really used that too much. It actually feels a bit cheesy to me. So this is the ability to rotate the image as you go. How many times am I going to use that? I don't know. I don't think I will. I'm not also intending to use the Pocket 3 for photographs. I usually will have another camera on me at the same time. So maybe it could be used for panoramas, but I don't think I'm going to be using it at all for photos. So I haven't tested it. I've generally been using this in standard video mode with auto exposure at 4K 24 frames a second in 16:9 aspect ratio. Most of the time I've used that wireless mic just because it's so easy to set up and use and the audio from it is so good. You don't need to look at any screens or do anything. You just turn it on, it connects automatically. So this is all using the external mic and I'm doing nothing to the sound. The low pass filter is on. The wind muff is on. You can't call it a dead cat, it's way too small. Dead mouse? Doesn't sound so good, does it? So this is probably a good test. It's the cliffs, southern England, January. And it's a bit windy. So I'm using the external microphone, DJI Wireless Mic 2. It's got the wind muffler on, so this would be a good test. I wanted to do this in London the other day. I couldn't do it because it was raining. You can't use this in the rain. It's a bit windy. Good mic test. Maybe. So if you can hear me, this is the south coast of England. I know southwest coast. I know this area really well. Most of my life, from being a kid to being a parent of young children, I would be here frequently. I haven't been here for a few years, probably 10, 12. Don't live in the UK anymore, as if you watch other videos, you'd realize. Came back to catch up with some people and see a few places like this. Not on the south coast, now up in the English Lake District. And this would have been a really good test normally for the wind performance of this mic, but there's no wind, so I guess it isn't. But it was raining earlier on, so we couldn't bring this out because you can't use a Pocket 3 in the rain. Anyhow, Welcome to the lakes. I've been holding the Pocket 3 using the extension handle. That's the shorter one, not the one with the battery in it. And then put the tripod on the bottom too, which gives me a nice long grip to be able to hold it securely at arm's length without really having to hold my arm elevated. I do have the lanyard on it too. It was extremely tricky to install, but once it was on there, it gives me a lot more security, particularly if I'm holding it over a bridge or something like that, which I was doing quite a bit of. I haven't generally been using the wide angle adapter. It's very easy to install because it's magnetic, but in my experience, it's also very easy to lose track of and significantly adds to all the admin you have to do to use it. When you turn the Pocket 3 off, it detects the fact that there is a wide angle adapter on the lens, and it will then rotate the gimbal to keep the lens out of the safe space it would normally hide in because it wouldn't fit with the adapter on it. So pretty clever, but it means that the lens is not protected and the wide angle adapter has a risk of falling off in my pocket or my bag. So really I have to remove it and store it and then reinstall it when I power the Pocket 3 back on again, or without dropping the lens, losing it, or getting fingerprints all over it. No thanks. I think I'll just hold it a bit further away from me and use that to get the shot that I want. Now I've been keeping the Pocket 3 either loose in my zipped jacket pocket, or in the Creator Combo zip case that came with, and then in my Peak Design sling. I learned something else about the Pocket 3 today. I shot, but will not use, a video where I said, you don't need the hard case. The gimbal locks, put it in your pocket when you're not using it, and providing you're not doing rough and tumble stuff, it's just in the pocket of your jacket, then it's going to be perfectly safe because the gimbal is pretty strong. It does close up and there's some magnets that kind of hold it in place. I shouldn't be a set of breath. Guess I'm talking as well. But I've noticed that a couple of times I've pulled this out of my pocket and the screen is still in the closed position. I thought it was off, but it says something like gimbal protection enabled, which means the gimbal's moved too much and somehow with the power on, and that's caused it to go into gimbal protection mode, which, because I haven't read the instructions on that piece, means I've just had to basically turn it off and turn it on a couple of times and reset the gimbal. But that tells me it's probably not a good idea to put it loose in a pocket. I'm not talking about jeans denim pocket here, I'm talking about the pocket of a jacket where I didn't feel like it was under any pressure, didn't really feel like, isn't this beautiful? Didn't really feel like it was going to cause a problem. But okay, in the last week or so I've realized, even though I've got the Creative Combo with the beautiful, I can't believe I'm saying that, but that beautiful little zipped case that just seems to fit everything perfectly, just like the Mini 3 Pro and all the other drones DJI does these days. Man, those guys know how to design a case. Anyhow, you need the hard slip case as well. I haven't really used a hard slip case that came with it. I find that the case grips the screen just a little too much for my liking. Now there are some theories out there that this can and has damaged the screens of some of the early Pocket 3s. I don't see that much force being applied, but as you pull the Pocket 3 out of that slipcase, it does look like there's a little bit of pressure being put on the screen. So I haven't had a problem with it, but that's enough for me to decide I'm not going to be using that hard case on a regular basis. So do I like it? Yeah, absolutely love it. Here's what I like about it. It is so well built, so well designed, and so easy to use. It's difficult not to like the key features of it. This is now a third generation product, and it really shows that DJI have not just warmed up the previous model and stuck a new label on it. They've really gone all out and designed a fantastic product. It is larger than the Pocket 2. It's got the same basic form factor, but the total design of it, the way it handles, the way it performs, is a total step change from the Pocket 2. The video and audio from this exceed anything I would be demanding of it in the uses I would put it to, which is basically walking, vlogging, and filming the scenes around me. If I had to list the highlights, they would probably include build quality, ease of use, video performance in normal and low light, the 120 frames per second 4K slow-mo mode, and the audio capabilities with the wireless mic too. But really, I like pretty much everything about Pocket 3. There's only really two things I don't like about it. One, I don't like its lack of weatherproofing. So every time it rained on this trip, I had to put it away or leave it at the hotel and instead reach for the GoPro, which does limit when and where I can use it. Pocket 3 is not rainproof, snowproof, probably not sweatproof, it's not drop proof, and not something I would go rock climbing, snowboarding, or diving with. DJI have made zero attempts to make this weatherproof in any way. Even the micro SD card slot is completely open to the elements. The second issue I have is I do a lot of walking and talking vlogs. Now, this does a good job of stabilizing the footage, but a GoPro does a better job just because it's using software to smooth out that footage. It's not limited to the 3 axes of a mechanical gimbal.
So this is Regent's Park. So this is fairly central in London. I came into Baker Street Tube Station, heading now to Regent's Park Tube Station. That's the subway, the underground. But you can see I'm bobbing up and down here as I walk. Now, if I was doing this with my GoPro, that bobble, that up and down movement, which a mechanical 3-way gimbal or 3-axis gimbal cannot compensate for, the electronic stabilization of something like a GoPro can. So for this sort of thing, I'm actually better off, I think, using a GoPro. And if I want to be really cheeky about it, I can still use this microphone. I can still use the DJI wireless mic 2 that came with the Osmo Pocket 3 combo, because I can use the 32-bit float internal recording on it. So I can still use that as a microphone with my GoPro, sync the sound up. Which also means my sound is consistent regardless which camera I use. Which sounds like a normal microphone.
Now, I can make the footage more stable with a so-called ninja walk. Google it. That's fine for creating a scene shot, but not when you're walking and talking. I'd probably trip up if I tried it. And any thoughts about being discreet in public while talking into a camera and doing a ninja walk at the same time? Yeah, no. In return for the ease of use, the wonderful video and audio quality, and just about everything else I love about this, I can live without those 2 shortcomings. They're not really issues, they're just a result of the design direction that DJI have taken with this camera. This is a unique design. There really is nothing out there like this. If this was a camera with an electronic stabilized camera instead of a gimbal, I think I'd still be singing its praises. But then that would be the Action 4, I guess, wouldn't it? It's a YouTuber's dream product. You could potentially just get this Creator Combo Kit, add a light, and be in business very, very quickly. And it all packs up so nicely in this bag. I do have a thing about cases and bags, and DJI do a really good job of this. No one else really makes anything comparable in this market. DJI do have, though, a competitive advantage. A lot of the tech in this Pocket 3 has been ported from their drone product lines, the Mavics and the Minis. The gimbal technology, the software, the sensors, the lenses. It's not exactly the same, but there's enough similar DNA to make it clear that they're doing a really good job leveraging the technologies they have across different product lines. If you want to record video and you want the best combination of small size, lightweight, great stabilization, low light video performance, audio performance, super fast battery charging, backed up with a great name, this has really got to be on your list. It's in a class of its own. There's no other consumer camera that offers this sort of package at this price point compared to the Osmo Pocket 3. Now, there are 2 versions of the Pocket 3. The cameras are the same, but there's 2 packages. The Pocket 3 retails here in the US for $669 for the Creator Combo Kit, or $519 for the Pocket 3 basic camera package. Both of those are currently back ordered by about 2 weeks at Amazon, Adorama, and other major retailers. That's been the case pretty much since the Pocket 3 was launched. The Creator Combo Kit, in my opinion, is hands down the best value for what you get, which is very typical actually of the marketing approach that DJI usually takes with their Creator Combo Kits or their Fly More Combo Kits with their drones. They clearly price them so it's very easy to see the value of the combo kit, and likely therefore that you upsell and you get the combo kit instead of the basic camera. In this case, the uplift, that's more expensive to you and me, from the basic camera to the Creator Combo Kit is about $150 US, for which you get the extension handle, the battery grip, the tripod, the soft case, the wireless mic 2. If you can afford it and you see this as your main video vlogging kit, then definitely look at the Creator Combo. If budget's tight, you can buy the basic one and then buy the wireless mic 2 at a later date. It retails for $99 on its own, but then you don't get all the other bits as well, including the case and the battery. I'm very glad I bought this. I'm very glad I took the Pocket 3 with me on my recent trip. I use it on that trip more than I expected to. It became a constant companion. I like to travel light when I'm a tourist, although if you travel with me, you probably would laugh at that. My camera bag is a Peak Design 6-liter sling, which is a small bag that is discreet, doesn't take up a lot of space, and doesn't allow me to carry too much stuff either, which keeps the weight down. On this trip, that meant I could carry my Sony a7CR camera with a lens on it, a spare lens, spare battery for it, and also the entire Pocket 3 Creator Combo Kit. And with that Creator Combo Kit, I'm also good for multiple scenarios while out and about. Now, if I'm running, cycling, hiking in the rain, or something similar, then I use the GoPro Hero 12 instead because that's better suited for those situations. Or maybe the Go 3. My name is Julian. If I can run with it, bike with it, hike with it, film with it, or occasionally swim with it, I'll put videos about it here on YouTube. If that's something that's of interest to you, please do consider subscribing to the channel. If you like this video, please do give it a like as well. That helps the channel immensely. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.